One championship heads to Japan for the very first time. On March 31st, the largest card in martial arts history takes place at the historic Kokugikan. 4 world title bouts, 4 flyweight Grand Prix matches, and a lineup of the world's best martial arts champions. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be awesome. It's one championship, a new era. Hello everybody, I'm Michael Chiavello and we are counting down the days till March 31st when one championship hits Tokyo, Japan for the very first time. I'm joined as always by my verbal sparring partner, the Dragon Mitch Chilson. Dragon, March 31st can't come soon enough.
This is the biggest card in one championship history. Michael, I can't wait.
Folks, we've got plenty in store for you come March 31. Check out this action. Edward Folayang puts the World Lightweight Championship on the line as he rematches the grappling wizard from Japan, Shinya Aoki. Zhang Jun, the punching panda from China, defends the World Strawweight strap against Angela Lee. Onglan Sung rematches Ken Hasegawa for the World Middleweight title. And then the trilogy match as Kevin Belen defends the Bantamweight strap against Bibiana Fernandez. And the One Championship Flyweight Grand Prix kicks off with all 4 quarterfinal matches in one night. The great Demetrius Johnson takes on Yuya Wakamatsu. The King, Danny Kingad, against Andrew Leone. Karat Akhmedov takes on Aussie Reese McLaren, and Tatsumitsu Wada faces off against Evanildo Delfino. And the One Championship World Lightweight Grand Prix continues as the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez, makes his One Championship debut. He takes on the tough Timofey Nastukin. Also, a One Super Series kickboxing match of the highest order. This one's been 11 years in the making. Arch rivals Yodson Klai, Iway Fairtex, and Andy Sauer throw down once again. March 31st in Tokyo, Japan will be history in the making. Folks, right now we're joined by the CEO and Chairman of One Championship, Chatri Sichitong. Chatri, in Tokyo, it's going to be the biggest card in martial arts history.
Absolutely the biggest in martial arts history. We have 4 world title fights. We have the launch of the One Flyweight World Grand Prix. 8 of the best flyweights in the world competing for a slot eventually to compete against the flyweight world champion. Also, we have Andy Sauer versus Yod Seng Klai in a super fight of kickboxing legends. Another thing is, we also have Demetrius Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, their debuts. Remember, these guys are the best on the planet. Massive KO power for Eddie Alvarez, the only man on the planet to have both the UFC lightweight title and the Bellator lightweight title, but can he win a third one eventually? We have DJ, 12-time world champion, best of the best, literally the greatest mixed martial arts in history, and he's gonna debut out in Tokyo against Yuya Wakamatsu. I mean, I cannot wait, and guess what? We haven't even announced our full card yet. It's gonna be explosive.
Folks, 4 world title bouts on the one night, March 31st in Tokyo. Right now, let's take a look at the main event. It's Edward Folayang versus Shinya Aoki for the lightweight championship of the world. Folayang versus Aoki 2, the rematch the entire world's been waiting for. Edward Folayang, what a story on the current world's champion. You talk about adversity. The man grew up in abject poverty in Baguio City in the Philippines. He lost 5 of his siblings. That would be enough to stop anyone in their tracks from achieving their dreams, but not Edward Folayang. Now he puts the world title on the line again against his arch rival, his main nemesis Shinya Aoki. Aoki, the former world's champion, considered the greatest martial artist in Asian history and a grappling whiz. Can he possibly regain the world title, Mitch?
Edward Folayang put on the performance of a lifetime to shock the world. A beautiful knee to grounded pound finish won him his first world title. And then he puts on another exceptional performance against Amir Khan, looking tremendous in every single area. Aoki has leveled up since that loss. He has shown a degree of aggressiveness that won him the title of the most feared grappler on the planet. And now we get a chance to run back the most epic rematch in Asian martial arts history.
Any way you look at it, Falayang versus Aoki 2 is gonna produce fireworks. Also on March 31st in Tokyo, the battle for the Strawweight world title. It's the most anticipated women's martial arts matchup in history as Zhang Jun puts the Strawweight strap on the line against the Atomweight world champion Angela Lee. Mitch, this one is going to be epic.
Can Angela do the unthinkable and move up an entire division and take the Strawweight title from the Chinese champion Zhang Jun?
Let's take a closer look at these two amazing athletes.
As talented as Angela Lee is, at the end of the day, this is not about Angela Lee. It's about Jing Nan's kind of legacy, and so this is the step inside of her legacy that matters the most.
This will be Jing Nan's toughest opponent. It's champ versus champ. We're really excited to go out there and show what she can do and keep that belt.
I think both of these girls haven't really been tested yet in one championship. They're both going to test each other. Jing Nan possesses skills that Angela Lee doesn't have. We're going to get to see that. It's going to be a great fight.
Jing Nan's real strength is her aggressiveness. That aggressiveness doesn't just show in her striking, it shows up everywhere. She doesn't try to just finish. She has this accumulative power, so she'll just keep hitting and hitting. I don't see Angela Lee being able to sustain the damage that Jing Nan gives. She should be worried.
Angela Lee potentially presents some problems on the ground with her jiu-jitsu, but Jing Nan's jiu-jitsu and her wrestling are very good and only getting better. She's training with some of the best fighters. She'll be plenty prepared on the ground.
They're both tough girls, but I think Jing Nan's tenaciousness and her willingness to win, I think she will get this decision.
All we've really seen is Jing Nan on her feet, but Jing Nan's actually really strong everywhere. And so if I was Angela Lee in her camp, I'd be really, really worried. It's going to be the hardest fight for Angela Lee.
Zhang Jun versus Angela Lee for the Strawweight Championship of the World will be history in the making. In one corner, the world champion, Zhang Jun. She's China's first ever female mixed martial arts world champion, and she'll have 1 billion people in her corner in Tokyo on March 31st. Across the cage from her, Angela Lee. They call Angela unstoppable. She is undefeated, unblemished, untouched. She's also the youngest champion in mixed martial arts history. Mitch, any way you look at this one, Zhang Jun, the punching panda, unstoppable Angela Lee is going to be absolute fireworks.
Angela Lee, the youngest martial arts women's world champion in history, takes on Zhang Jun. Two things about Angela Lee. One, she's never tasted defeat, and two, it's impossible for her to be involved in a boring matchup. Her twister finish was the first of its kind, and then she showed tremendous striking skills against Jenny Huang, picking her apart until she captured the victory. Angela Lee is absolutely unstoppable, and now she puts that perfect record on the line against the fierce Chinese warrior Zhang Jun, the Strawweight champion, China's first martial arts world champion. An absolutely tremendous matchup. Zhang Jun can stop you with one punch, but she's also shown that level of grappling that is getting better and better every time she competes.
Zhang Jun, Angela Lee, it's going to be awesome. So to the rest of our Tokyo card. We'll take a look at it when we return. Welcome back to this special preview for One Championship, a new era coming up on March 31st in Tokyo, Japan. On that night, we have 4 world title bouts. Folayang versus Aoki for the one lightweight world title. Zhang Jun defends the strawweight strap against unstoppable Angela Lee. Kevin Belen and Bibiana Fernandez go at it for the 3rd time for the bantamweight strap. And Onglan Sung rematches Ken Hasegawa for the world middleweight title. In 2018, Onglan Sung and Ken Hasegawa put on arguably the greatest match we've ever seen in one championship. In case you missed it, in case you're living under a rock, here it is again, Onglan Sung and Ken Hasegawa.
As a competitor, I always come to finish my bouts. I don't play safe to win, or I play for keep. I don't want to win a decision because I don't want people to say, oh, he won the decision because it's in his home country, and I want to make it decisive. I want to make it clear that, I'm the champion for a reason.
Both men showing some terrific boxing so far here.
In my previous fights, a lot of the fans complained that, it was too quick. I took my time a little bit in the first, couple rounds, tried to figure him out, but then at that time, he kind of figured me out too.
Hasegawa backs him off.
In the 5th round, I had that sense of urgency and I had that sense of desire to finish my match.
This is like a Rocky movie.
I knew, I got the job done, so I was very happy and satisfied.
Oh, what an amazing bout. Now we've got March 31st in Tokyo, Onglan Sung, Ken Hasegawa, number 2 for the world middleweight title. Onglan Sung, the darling of Myanmar, the champion of champions, Myanmar's first and only ever world sports champion. He's revered by 55 million people. But against Ken Hasegawa in 2018, he was given the match of his life. Ken Hasegawa, guts, intestinal fortitude, a world champion in his own right. Ken Hasegawa jumped at the opportunity when one championship called him and said, do you want to compete against Onglan Sung again in your backyard in Tokyo? He said, yep, and Mitchell goes down on March 31st.
Their first match was an instant classic, worthy of a Hollywood script. Ken Hasegawa and Onglan Sung went back and forth for 5 epic rounds until Onglan Sung channeled the power of the Myanmar people and delivered a knockout finish worthy of Knockout of the Year. And now, in the rematch, Ken Hasegawa has a chance to do it on his home turf in Tokyo, Japan, for his shot at the middleweight world title. This match has to happen, and now it is going down.
Another match that has to happen, and we're going to see it March 31st in Tokyo on One Championship, a new era. It's a trilogy match for the World Bantamweight Championship as defending champion Kevin Belen of the Philippines takes on the former champion from Brazil, Bibiana Fernandez. Let's take a look at the last time Bibi and Belen went at it. Outside
Let's see him throw out that jab, start testing. Good defense so far. He's got to be careful. That's where you want to go.
Really tried to use it quickly, try and take power in the lens. Oh, turning back kick to the liver. And then back to the head. He tries to take his head off. The headache maker. Oh, good right hand, stiffly there from Belen. Bibi tries to thread. The right hook turning back into the liver. Bibi backs him up with the right hand. Double leg down from the Brazilian. Takedown there from Fernandez. Now the Brazilian ups the intensity. Bibiana goes for the arm. Goes for the arm. Goes to the tag. He resets the arm bar. And then he's going to escape. This place going bananas! The ground and pound from Belen. Vivian's third and five. Punches up now, Fernandez tries to drop the anvils on the head of Belen.
Right, change levels.
Looks for the full mouth as Fernandez slips out the back and tries to take the arm. And once again, Belen is free.
Set up that right hand, whistle that turning back kick. Will Kevin lighten him up? That's what he goes after. Oh, Kevin.
We're going down to the judges in Singapore. What a match! It's history made. Kevin Belen, the bantamweight champion of the world. Bibiana Fernandez versus Kevin Belen. These two men seem to be born to take on each other in the cage. And that's what happens for the third time come March 31st in Tokyo for the World Bantamweight strap. In one corner, Kevin Belen from the fabled Team Lakay in Baguio City in the Philippines, where they grow champions seemingly on trees. Kevin Belen, a very proud world champion, representing the Philippines, representing the striking art of wushu. Bibiana Fernandez says he wants the title to go back to Brazil. He says he can dominate Belen. He says he's got the tools to do it. March 31st, Tokyo, Japan. Bibiana Fernandez, Kevin Belen, number 3, Mitch, is gonna be awesome.
Their second match could have went either way. Kevin Belen is one of the greatest Filipino strikers ever. He hit Andrew Leone with a turning back kick that knocked him clear across the ring. And then he hit Reese McLaren with a punch that knocked him into an entirely different division. Kevin has his opportunity to do the unthinkable, to capture another bantamweight world title and go up against the greatest one to ever do it, the grappling sensation, Bibiana Fernandez. Very well could be one of the best grapplers in one championship, has submission finishes over some of the very best. I can't wait for this rematch.
It's one of 4 world title matches. March 31st, Tokyo, Japan. One championship, a new era. More on that when we return. Welcome back to this very special preview of One Championship, a new era. It goes down March 31st in Tokyo, Japan. On that night, we have an historic 4 world title bouts. They include Shinya Aoki versus Edward Folayang for the lightweight championship of the world. Zhang Jun puts her strawweight strap on the line against Angela Lee. Onglan Sung rematches Ken Hasegawa for the world middleweight title, and the trilogy match, Kevin Belen, Bibiana Fernandez for bantamweight gold. Also on the night, the Flyweight World Grand Prix kicks off, and we've got all 4 quarterfinals on the one night, including the debut of the great one, Demetrius Johnson.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson!
I'm very excited to be a one athlete, but the biggest thing that I love about my first time in Singapore is seeing how passionate Chachari is about the company, about his athletes. Always talking about honor, respect, discipline, integrity, humility. I think values is everything. Not as a martial artist, but as a human being, as a father, as a husband. If we don't have values, then what are we living our life on? And I think the whole company, One Championship, understands the values that Chachari is trying to display to the world. And I'm fully 100% supportive of that. Expect me bringing the same values I've always brought in my mixed martial arts, carrying myself, having humility, having honor, and always respecting my opponents, and obviously displaying my skills in mixed martial arts.
Demetrius Johnson, the most dominant athlete in mixed martial arts history, and on March 31st in Tokyo, Japan, the Mighty Mouse, the Great One, Demetrius Johnson makes his one championship debut in the World Flyweight Grand Prix. Mitch, that is going to be fantastic.
Demetrius Johnson is not just the best of his generation, but he could be the best of any generation. He is able to do things only seen in video games. His striking is just as good as his grappling, and he has the stamina that would make a marathon runner jealous. I cannot wait to see DJ in one championship.
Yeah, Mitch, Demetrius Johnson finally here in one championship. So to another American, so to another legend. On March 31st in Tokyo, Japan, we're going to see the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez. Alvarez takes part in the One Championship World Lightweight Grand Prix. He takes on the rough and rugged Timofey Nastukin. Let's take a closer look at the Underground King.
The Underground King, Eddie Alvarez!
I traveled the world the last 15 years fighting the best guys that I can get my hands on everywhere. I've won every single world title from every major organization. And One Championship is the only organization now that I don't have their world title. I'm coming here to win my world title. I made some space on my shelf for the One Championship belt. I know the fighters are tough. This group understands the integrity of the sport, what it means to be a martial artist, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Put me against the most dangerous guys inside of this cage and I'll deliver every time.
I'll fight anyone. Whoever the fans consider the baddest, toughest, most dangerous guy, that's the guy I want. Whoever that is, point me to him and we'll have a good fight.
The Underground King, Eddie Alvarez, finally in one championship. And Mitch, there's only one reason why Eddie Alvarez is here. Alvarez has already won world titles in UFC. He's won one in Bellator. Now he wants to become the first man in history to win 3 world titles in the 3 largest organizations on the planet. Should he in future capture the One Championship world title, he'll do just that. But the going's going to be tough.
Eddie Alvarez enters the One Lightweight World Grand Prix to take on Timofey Nastukin. His bite down on his mouthpiece style and go to war. He leaves his heart and soul in the ring every single time he competes. He comes from that legendary Philadelphia style brawlers that put it all on the line every single time they compete.
Also, 2 men who know to put it all on the line. March 31st in Tokyo, Japan. One championship in New Era sees a One Super Series kickboxing match of the highest order. This one, Mitch, is a rematch 11 years in the making between 2 arch rivals. In one corner, the great Yodson Klai, Iway Fairtex. In the other corner, the great Andy Sauer.
It's been over 10 years in the making. The rematch, the first one was so close, it took an extra round for the judges to make their decision. It will be the power kicks of Yodsen Klai against the mighty hands of Sauer. This match is bound to happen, and now we get to see it happen in Tokyo, Japan on March 31st. Don't want to miss this one.
March 31st, Tokyo, Japan. It will be history in the making. 4 world title bouts on the one night. World champion Edward Folayang puts the lightweight strap on the line against former world champion Shinya Aoki. Champion Zhang Jun puts her world title up for grabs against world atomweight champion Angela Lee. Onglan Sung rematches Ken Hasegawa. Those 2 world champions go at it for the middleweight title. Then, in the trilogy match, Kevin Belen, Bibiana Fernandez for the world bantamweight strap. Also, for the first time ever, the Flyweight Grand Prix. All 4 quarterfinal matches on the one night. Johnson takes on Wakamatsu, King Adam Leone, Akhmatov McLaren, and Tatsumitsu Wada takes on Delfino of Brazil. Also, it's the One Championship debut of the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez. In the World Lightweight Grand Prix, he takes on Timofey Nastukin. Folks, we'll see you March 31st from Tokyo, Japan. It'll be One Championship, a new era.